What if the stuff we throw away isn't really the end of its story? What if it's actually the beginning of a new one? Well, today we're going to dive right into that idea, and it all starts with this amazing surprise lesson at a primary school in Nigeria that unlocked some seriously incredible creativity.
And that's the big question, isn't it? What magic can we create from trash? This pushes us way beyond just, sorting our bins. It gets us thinking about pure imagination. It's all about seeing potential where most people just see garbage. So come on, let's find out what kind of magic is actually possible.
All right, so I want you to picture this. It's a sunny Tuesday morning at Harmony Primary School. Everything seems totally normal. The bell rings, the students are all gathering for assembly, but you can just feel it in the air, Something's different. This morning was about to be anything but ordinary. And that's when the head teacher steps up and announces that two very special visitors were there. They were about to teach the students something cool, creative, and really, really kind to the earth.
So, can you just imagine the cheers when Nollywood superstar Toyin Abraham and Afrobeats icon Rima walked out on stage? Wow. But wait, the real surprise wasn't just them. It was what they were carrying. They had these huge bags filled with what looked like, well, trash. I'm talking plastic bottles, old newspapers, bits of fabric. The students were totally confused, but you can bet they were also super intrigued.
Okay, so why on earth would two huge celebrities show up at a school with bags of garbage? Well, they were there to introduce a really powerful idea that we can literally transform our world, one little piece of so-called trash at a time. So, Toyin Abraham, she opens up her bag and lays out the main idea. See, recycling, she explained, isn't just about throwing things in a different bin. Oh no, it's a real transformation. It's about giving old, forgotten things a second chance, a brand new purpose. It's like breathing life back into waste.
And then Rima comes in with this perfect analogy that just made it all click, especially for the kids. He said it's just like remixing an old song into a new hit. I mean, think about it, right? You take something familiar, you break it down, you add some new stuff, and you build it back up into something totally fresh and exciting. It's a creative act, just like making music. That's brilliant.
Okay, so that's a fantastic concept, for sure. But is it just about being creative and making cool new things? Why is this whole idea so important? Well, it turns out the answer is way bigger than you might think.
So Toyin and Rima broke it down into 5 huge wins. First off, it saves you money because you're making things instead of buying them. And that, of course, leads right to the second point. It reduces waste, which means our communities get cleaner. Number 3, and this is a big one, it protects the whole planet from pollution. But it doesn't stop there. It also sparks creativity, and get this, it can even create jobs for people. It's like this amazing chain reaction of good stuff.
All right, now for the hands-on part. If you're going to turn trash into treasure, you got to know what kind of treasure you're working with, right? So first things first, it's time to learn how to sort. So then Toyin showed the students a table just filled with all these everyday items. And it's a really powerful image, isn't it? When you see it all laid out like this, it just makes you realize how much of what we throw away could be something else. We're talking plastic bottles, old jeans, soda cans. This isn't garbage, it's treasure, just waiting to be discovered. Okay, so they've got the theory down, they know what materials they can use. Now it was time to get their hands dirty. Rima clapped his hands and challenged all the classes. All right, let's get to work. And this, my friends, is where the real magic happens. And just look at what they came up with. Seriously, the whole school basically turned into this amazing pop-up art exhibition. You had one class taking plastic bottles and turning them into flower pots. Another class took old denim jeans and made these super stylish handbags. They weren't just making crafts, they were completely rethinking what was possible. So as things started to wrap up, Toyin gathered everyone around, and she pointed out something really important. This whole lesson, it wasn't just about making cool stuff. The students were actually learning a ton of powerful new skills, maybe without even realizing it. So here's the really crucial takeaway. Recycling is a fantastic teacher. I mean, while they were making all this cool art, the students were flexing their creativity muscles, they were solving problems, they were working together in teams, they were learning about protecting the environment, and even thinking about saving money. These are real-world skills, all learned through a super simple, fun activity. As the day finally came to a close, the special guests left the students with some really powerful final words. And it's a message that goes way beyond just the school gates. It's really for all of us.
Toyn's message was all about the power of small actions. It's such a great reminder that every little choice we make, no matter how small it feels, adds up to a much bigger picture. You're not just recycling a bottle, you're actually helping to build a better, cleaner community.
And Rima's final thought, man, this is the ultimate call to action. It basically says that anyone can make a change. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to be powerful, you don't have to wait for someone else to come along and fix things. The power to start is right there, in your own hands, with the very stuff you might have just thrown away. And that brings this whole lesson right back to you and me, doesn't it? The students at Harmony Primary School, they learned that trash is really just treasure that you haven't found a use for yet. I mean, they turned bottles into flower pots and old jeans into new handbags. So the only question left to ask is, what magic will you create?